From the very first chapter in the series, One Piece readers believed that Luffy's powers came from eating the Gomu Gomu no Mi, a paramecia-type devil fruit that gives a body the properties of rubber. During the fight against Kaido, however, Luffy was finally able to awaken his abilities, a term used to indicate that a person's mind and body are able to harness the true potential of their devil fruit. When this happened, it was revealed that Gomu Gomu no Mi was actually a fake name given by the world government to another devil fruit, whose existence they wanted to keep hidden, the mythical zone Hito Hito no Mi, model, Nika. As with every other mythical zone, this fruit bestows powers connected to a legendary figure, in this case a mysterious god called Nika. Once awakened, Luffy displayed a bizarre set of powers, including the ability to alter his body and surroundings according to his imagination, which allowed him to defeat even the world's strongest creature, Kaido. Nika is the name of a mythical warrior that was once revered as the sun god by slaves from the ancient times. He was first mentioned by Who's who heard about the legend from a prison guard during his imprisonment by the world government. According to Dr. Vegapunk, Nika's existence is only recorded in the most ancient of texts, having been otherwise erased in more modern documents. The world government is extremely interested in this fruit and has even covered up its identity by renaming it to the Gomu Gomu no Mi, preventing other parties from garnering special interest to the fruit and seeking it out themselves, such that not even members of the four emperors and their respective crews seem to be aware. Currently, the fruit's power is in the possession of Monkey D. Luffy. Well, we are done explaining the history of Nika. Now let's get to the abilities of Nika. The sixth spot on our list is extremely malleable. As Luffy gains tremendous rubber powers in his Nika form, his malleability also increases dramatically. In his previous forms, Luffy wasn't all that malleable. In fact, any attack that was launched at him bounced off immediately and Luffy retained his normal shape. In Gear 5th, Luffy has proven to be quite malleable, which just goes to show that his rubber powers now are far superior to what they once were. After Kaido hit him with his club, Luffy immediately took the shape of his weapon and stayed like that for quite some time. This softened the blow to quite an extent and ensured that Luffy didn't take as much damage as he would without it. Coupled with the generally tougher rubber that he was blessed with in his Nika form, this has made him nigh unstoppable in battle. The fifth spot on our list is extending awakening to intangible things. Not only can Luffy extend his powers to living things, but he can also pass them to intangible objects as well. Once again, this is unique to Luffy's Devil Fruit awakening, so far, at the very least. Luffy was seen being able to grab lightning and turn it into rubber while fighting Kaido. This resulted in being surprised at the level of freedom Luffy was fighting with. So far, no other person has shown the ability to extend their Devil Fruit powers to intangible objects with their awakening. This would potentially mean that Luffy can also do the same to fire, or even small amounts of water, if he so wishes. Once again, it just goes to show that his awakening is unique and very overpowered. The fourth spot on our list is boundless imagination. It appears that Nika Luffy has no limits other than his very own imagination. He has done things that seem impossible for others to do, such as catching lightning, running in midair and even creating things out of nothing, such as the goggles he managed to conjure during his fight against Rob Lucci. This ability is staggering and fans do not know how it is possible for him to do this. However, the five elders have already mentioned that he can fight in whichever way he wants and can only be limited by his imagination. In Luffy's case, however, he can turn anyone in his surroundings into rubber by merely coming in contact with them, which is nothing short of staggering. Why exactly he can do this is something fans do not know the answer to just yet. However, Oda might give an answer to that later on in the story. The third spot on our list is limb inflation of Gear 3rd. One of the core aspects of Luffy's Devil Fruit powers is his ability to inflate his limbs. He figured out this power during the Enies Lobby arc of One Piece, where he fought against Rob Lucci for the very first time. During this fight, Luffy pumped air into his bones directly to grant himself the limbs of giants. A single blow from these limbs was powerful enough to make Rob Lucci lose consciousness for a bit. In his Gear 5th form, Luffy retains the ability to inflate all his limbs, however, he cannot do it without pumping air into his bones. He can also do this on a much larger scale and can extend it to his entire body. One of his strongest techniques, known as Gum Gum Giant, sees him inflate his entire body with air and take the full appearance of a giant. Nika Luffy's limb inflation power is on a completely different level when compared to Gear 3rd. The second spot on our list is Advanced Freedom. The true power of the Nika fruit is that it grants the user limitless freedom and allows them to fight however they want. In Gear 5th, which is the awakened form of this devil fruit, Luffy gains tremendous freedom that far surpasses what he had prior to this form. Now, Luffy can fight to the best of his abilities without being limited by anything at all. This was something that Kaido noticed himself while clashing against the Straw Hat Pirate. According to him, Luffy's powers looked as if they were taken directly from a comic strip. Things such as running in the air and even grabbing lightning from the sky were made possible thanks to Gear 5th. Luffy's freedom in this form is limitless, and that is what makes him truly ferocious. The first spot on our list is Unique Awakening. Nika Luffy has a very unique awakening and one that nobody else in the world of One Piece possesses. Usually, awakening depends greatly on the type of devil fruit that a person possesses. For instance, Paramesha type of devil fruit users can spread their power to the immediate surroundings using awakening. Meanwhile, Zone types gain unique transformations with their awakenings, while Logia awakenings have just not been seen yet. In the case of Luffy, for some strange reason, he can exhibit the awakening types of both Paramesha and Zone at the same time. This means that Luffy can extend his rubbery powers to his surroundings, as a Paramesha would, and, at the very same time, he can also gain a unique transformation, which he calls Gear 5. This strange phenomenon surprised even Kaido, and he couldn't figure out why Luffy was exhibiting the powers of both awakenings at the same time. I hope you guys learned something. And what are your thoughts of Nika Luffy? Did I miss anything? If I did miss anything, leave your answers in the comments section below. And I would really appreciate it if you guys press that subscribe button.